Welcome back to another RotoMoto offseason video, brought to you, of course, by O'Neill, and this one will go over all of the riders you can expect to see line up in Paris this weekend for what is sadly the last time we will see any of the stars of Supercross compete against each other until the gates drop in Anaheim for the start of the 2023 season. Before we talk riders, let's talk schedule and format and how you can watch it. The Paris Supercross is a two-day event taking place on Saturday and Sunday, November 12th and 13th. And similar to the World Supercross, each day will feature 3 races and a Super Pole, with all 6 race results being tallied to decide who is the king and the prince of French Supercross. Paris is 6 hours ahead of the Eastern United States and 9 hours ahead of the West Coast, so Saturday's action begins at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, and Sunday will see a 9 a.m. start time for New Yorkers and a brutal 6 a.m. start for Californians. You can watch all of the action live on pay-per-view on mxgp-tv.com, link in the description below, for $11.99 US, which boils down to just under $1 per race. All right, so who's gonna be there? Starting with the big class, the 450 field has 16 riders signed up to race in the two-day format, with half of the field made up of the American Series mainstays. Leading the way is France native Marvin Musquin, who is a 3-time champion of this event after sweeping all 3 of the point-scoring races here in 2021. Marv turns 33 before the end of the year, and without any long-term deal set up with Red Bull KTM, this could be the last chance for the French fans to see their superstar in action live and in person. Looking to cap off what has already been a dream season, Eli Tomac makes another rare overseas appearance, his first at this race in 8 years. If Eli can manage to become the king of Paris this weekend, that will mean he won everything he tried in 2022. After becoming the first rider to win both championships since Ryan Dungey in 2015, ending the Motocross of Nations drought at Redbud, sweeping all 3 races of the World Supercross that he lined up for, he now shoots for a perfect year finished off in Paris. Ken Roczen will continue his world tour aboard a mostly blue Honda powered by Genuine Honda, which US fans will better recognize as the Firepower Honda team. This will most likely be his last race on a CRF after his tumultuous split with the factory squad a month ago, and after his World Supercross Championship victory, no doubt he wants to go out on a big red bang this weekend. One of the most exciting storylines to watch is the return of Cooper Webb after taking the summer off. No secret that he did not gel with the new KTM this year, failing to win a race in his second Supercross title defense, and this week could set the tone for his 2023 campaign if he and the Red Bull squad have found a way to make the new KTM chassis and motor agree with Coop's unique style. Other notable American Series riders lining up are the king of off-season races, Justin Brayton, closing out his retirement year with another full schedule of overseas competition, riding with a fire just a few weeks after the Vince Freeze incident in Australia. Privateer hero Kevin Moranz will make the trip on his KTM to cap off his first full-time 450 campaign in 2022. Fan favorite and amateur wrestler Alex Ray will be mounting an FR25 Subtle Honda, one of the premier moto teams in all of France. And Spanish Supercross champion Joan Cross aboard a Seekings Euromoto 85 Kawasaki, and what looks to be the last professional race of his career after qualifying for 5 main events in the 450 class in 2022. The rest of the field will be made up of French-born riders, the most notable being Cedric Soubeyras, who competed in the States from 2016 to 2021 and finished runner-up at this event last year. Thomas Vermette, Maxime Desprez, Anthony Bourdon, Adrien Escoffier all raced the recently completed World Supercross Series, and rounding out the field are Gregory Aranda, Julian Rousseli, and Portugal's own Hugo Basala. The support class lost a lot of luster after losing both Jet and Hunter Lawrence just weeks before the race. The Australian superstar team cited a visa issue for the reason of their absence that drew a lot of ire from fans already soured by the way HRC Honda was perceived from the Ken Roczen news, but that could be an entire video on its own, so let's talk about the guys that will be there instead. There are 6 quote-unquote wildcard riders showing up, and you will likely be familiar with 4 of them, as well as 11 French-born jockeys mounting the 250 class. The most accomplished is no doubt Chris Blose and his Bud Racing 9mm Kawasaki team Matt Moss. These two competed in the World Supercross, but Blose has been a staple in the American Series since 2006, finishing as high as 5th overall in the West Division in 2009 before landing on the overall podium for World Supercross this year, and he has to be the heavy favorite coming in. The Australian Matt Moss raced in the States from 2010 to 2014, but hasn't been seen in major competition since until his 9th overall in the SX2 class of World Supercross this year. Two other Americans lining up are Justin Starling and Colin Park. Starling had a career year in 2022, scoring 103 points, making 14 main events, all in the 450 Supercross class, but he was a regular threat for top 10 finishes in the lights class, and he could definitely challenge for the Prince title this year. Colin Park entered 2022 as a true rookie for the Phoenix Honda squad and came out of nowhere to make 7 main events, including both East-West Showdowns, finishing inside the top 10 at both the Indy Round and Foxborough, and could be the absolute definition of a wild card here in Paris. The two other riders denoted as wild cards both hail from France, with Quentin Preganier lining up alongside Blose and Moss on the Bud Racing Kawasaki, and Enzo Polias on a Milwaukee Husqvarna. Although he may not be familiar to American fans, Bryce Malin comes in with winning aspirations after winning the French Supercross Tour in 2021 on his 737 Gas. Thomas Doe has made 3 trips to the United States since 2016, finishing 8th overall in the East Division of the 250 class in 2021. And rounding out the rest of the field are all French riders, namely Arnaud Aubin, Mikhail Lamkra, Lucas Imbert, Yannis Hirsutu, Kevin Bollinger, Julien Lebeau, Maxime Charlier, Nicolas Decourt, and Hugo Manzado. It is sad to admit that we are on the cusp of wrapping up what has been an incredible year of racing from a fan's perspective, but I have to ask you this, and let me know in the comments, where do you think 2022 ranks among the best years in racing? The red, white, and blue bringing home the trophy for the first time in a decade, Eli finally getting his indoor-outdoor sweep, Sexton's incredible outdoor series, the resurgence of Jason Anderson, the crashes, the takeouts, the fights, all while returning to a full schedule at all the familiar cities and having the stands packed with fans. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did, and now we turn and count down the days until A1, starting today at 58 to go. Thanks as always for watching RotoMoto. My name is Donnie. Keep it pinned to the weekend.